To the youth of this city, I will seek justice on your behalf. This is a moment. This is your moment. Let's ensure that we have peaceful and productive rallies that will develop structural and systemic changes for generations to come.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're familiar with her by now. Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor, National Review columnist, author of Faithless Execution, Building the Political Case for Obama's Impeachment, is with us. Andy, great to talk to you, my friend. I want to start with this. You wrote a great piece at National Review, how the Freddy Gray autopsy report has really dealt a blow to the charges of murder in this case.
Yeah, Steve, I guess, you know, in the clip you played, she wants structural changes. I guess one of the ones she must be contemplating is that you need evidence to convict people. You know, unfortunately, you know, she relied on this autopsy in order to charge these 6 police officers, and she's kept the autopsy under wraps for 2 months. She used it as the premise for the charges, even though their investigation wasn't close to being completed. And now we see why she didn't want anyone to see the autopsy. When the bottom line of it is that Mr. Gray was under the influence of narcotics and clearly conducting himself in a wild and difficult manner, which made it hard for the police officers to restrain him. And the bottom line of it is, they put him down in the van in a particular prone position. And the medical examiner says that if he had stayed in the position that the police had put him in,
he would have been okay.
He would have been fine. It was he personally decided to try to get up and undoubtedly to continue carrying on as he had been carrying on. And evidently the van decelerated at some point during the journey, which evidently sent him flying and catapulted him into the hard inside of the van, which is how he apparently sustained his neck injury. And again, I'm not saying, and I don't think any of us is saying, that this was model police work necessarily. We'll have to see how that plays out at the trial. The question, though, isn't whether they violated procedure or were imprudent. The question is whether they should be prosecuted for murder under circumstances where it looks like Mr. Gray may have been more responsible for what happened to him than the police were.
Wow, she has really set the stage for problems in Baltimore if these charges are thrown out or there are no convictions, because she overreached. And I really haven't heard any attorney actually really go on the record and say, oh yeah, she's got a great case here. I mean, yeah. on any side, they've all said right. She looks like she's overcharged, she didn't have her facts straight, she didn't know what she was doing, it was political. So I fear for what might happen to Baltimore.
Well, we'll have to see. The interesting thing, I think, is that the defendants have asked to have the case moved out of Baltimore. Yes. At least it's anticipated that they will. I don't know if I'd do that if I were a defense lawyer in this case, unless I was assured that the prosecutor was coming with the case. Because if it were up to me and I was representing one of these guys,
you'd want her.
I'd send a limousine to her house every day to make sure she got to work.
It's unfair. 30 seconds. The Supreme Court overreaching on both of the cases?
I think the Supreme Court's now a political institution, Steve. It's not a legal one anymore. There's no legal justification for what they did here. And at the end of the day, the point is, if the country wants to vote to have same-sex marriage, then that's fine. That's a political process. It's a policy decision. Yep. But the court imposed it on the country, and that's not the judicial role.
Yep. It's I mean, Scalia was outraged, and so was Alito, and so was Roberts, and so was Clarence Thomas. Andy, great to talk to you, my friend. Very important piece that everybody should be talking about. It's at nationalreview.com. Freddie Gray autopsy report deals blow to murder charges. We'll speak to you soon. Coming
Thanks,
up
Steve.
next, you're welcome. Give Me 5. But first, Daily Wrap co-host Rick Unger will join us. But let me tell you, Give Me 5, we will not be doing Give Me 5. Breaking with tradition this one time. We're going to take a special look. Yesterday was the NBA draft. Robert Malzberg will be here to analyze the top 5 picks of the draft. So look forward to that. And Rick Unger now is going to tell us what's going to be on at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Daily Wrap.